Okay, so here we are at blog number 8. Another one of my audio blogs, just putting this together. Pretty good weekend. Had a very good weekend. Things went very well as far as the things that I've done over the weekend. Friday was kind of a relaxing day. I appreciate the Fridays where I don't have to go into work. That way I can actually spend the time sleeping in and then take care of the little things I need to do. So, did a little bit of running around and pretty much a quiet day. Now, Saturday was the total opposite. Had a very full, very busy day. I had to get up at about 4 a.m. because the men at my church had a breakfast, and I had to open the doors to get them into the church. So, had to be there at 5 o'clock, so I had to get up early for that and help them. But it was a good breakfast. I had a lot of nice conversation just with some of the other men at my church. And then also the breakfast in itself went very well. The topic for the breakfast was talking about the violence. Here in the city of Chicago, we have had a lot of violence, and it has been hitting very close to home. In my neighborhood and especially the neighborhood around the church, we've had a lot of violence that have ended up in deaths in my neighborhood. And so it's very tragic. As a matter of fact, one event happened during the middle of the day, right across the street from my church. And one of my friends that works at the church was there right after the incident happened. So they saw the person before the police could come and cover the body, things like that. So it really disturbed her. But the violence is really getting out of control in our neighborhoods, and we're trying to figure out what can we do as a church. So first and foremost is that we need to pray. We need to really seek God's face concerning really what's really going on. And the prayer has to be to the point of more people need to know exactly who God is. I know that the path is narrow, those that will accept the Lord, but we as Christians still need to get that message out there. Just letting them know that Jesus Christ is God, and I know that God chooses those people, but we're still to give the gospel, to tell the good news. And we actually need to be active, especially as men. We need to let our communities know that this is not something we're just going to take. We need to get involved in the life of our young people, especially those that are around us, especially at the church. We need to make sure that we're involved in what they're doing, making sure that they're not just messing around, but actually are living a life that with the purpose of glorifying the God that we love. And just really make sure they focus in on that so that when they leave, especially leaving grammar school or leaving high school, when they have to make choices on their own, that their choices are one that will focus on how wonderful God is and wanting to serve Him in what they do, especially as college students. So that is very important. So definitely with prayer, definitely with being involved in the young people starting at our church and then being involved in our neighborhoods with them, not being so afraid. It can be fearful when you hear about everything that's happening. You're concerned, but if we're focused on God and God says it's our time to go, it is our time to go. Nothing's going to stop that. And if God says it's not our time, then He is going to protect us from things that may harm others in this world. So those are some things, but really have to take a look at the root of what's going on. So young people seem to be out of control, but it's also because of their home situation. A lot of them are growing up in single parent homes where it's mostly a woman that really connecting with them, and she's trying to support them and cannot really raise them. And so it really goes back, if you look at the root of the problem, it really goes back to sin. And sin is just doing those things that God is not pleased with. So, and that has to do with, you have single parent homes in most cases because of the fact that there was sex outside of the way that God prescribed that sex should be, and that's inside the confines of marriage. So if we really focus in on doing what we're supposed to do, focusing in on God and His laws and His commands, what He's telling us to do, it will make an effect in this world, because if we're doing what we're supposed to do and other people are doing what they're supposed to do as Christians, we can affect this world that's around us. And I think that's something that we all need to focus on, is just what is God telling us to do? And God tells us that based on His Word. We don't have to guess. We really don't have to guess. We have to assume. First, we have to focus in on what He's telling us to do. And to God, that is worship, as listed. We were talking about in Sunday school class in Romans 12:1, that our worship, that our doing what He's telling us to do, making that sacrifice, yet because it's a hard thing for us to do what God has us to do. But in doing that, we're what's called a living sacrifice. That means continual. That means it's something that's always happening, something that we're always doing. So it is important that we are giving Him the sacrifice that He asked for, which is a living sacrifice, meaning that it's something that we're constantly doing. And we're sacrificing Him by studying His Word, understanding what He's telling us to do, and doing that. So one of those things definitely is with lust and our desires, focusing our desires on Him will cease us from, will make it a little bit easier to not do those things that He does not want us to do. So that's one of the main things, is really focusing in on. And it does not give you an immediate solution, but as children are growing up, and they're growing up in loving families of married couples that are focused in on Him, and they see that example, we would see less of the violence that's happening. So yes, it's not an immediate solution, but it is a long-term solution to the violence and things that are happening in our life. So yeah, that's just really my take on that. Like I said, the men's breakfast was very good. We had a very good conversation, especially from our young people that were there. We had some teenagers that were there with our breakfast, talking to us, young men, telling us what's going on in their community. So that was very much appreciated. Worship service on Sunday was good. Got caught up on some of my work also, and just looking forward to a wonderful week. This is my students' evaluation week, so they have a project they need to do, and then they have a test that they need to take on this week. This is midterm week, so we're about halfway through the semester. Time really flies. So just looking forward to serving God in the way that I can, and just make sure that I'm continuing worshiping Him in what I do. So that's about it for now. Probably one of my longer blogs, but it's just the weekend just brought up something that's just really been on my mind. So I just wanted to share it. That's it. Till next time, I'll talk to you later. Grace and peace.